Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Loonees Comedy Corner podcast. This is a weekly podcast where we sit down with the headliners that came through our club. And I'm so excited for today. We're off from a brief hiatus. So today I'm here with my co-host, Cameron MacKenzie.
Hello, hello.
It's one of Colorado Springs Beanie Boys. And we have a very special guest.
Yeah.
You've seen him all over. He's been in everything. Scream, Jamie Kennedy Experience, Malibu's Most Wanted, Heckler from 2007, which is my favorite. So everybody, please give a warm welcome to Jamie Kennedy.
Whoa, 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 whoa.
How are you
Jamie?
guys?
Good, man.
Good.
I'm good. I'm still kind of wrecked because from touring and a little tired, even though our trip was so good, but it was so quick.
Sure. When did you get back?
I got back Sunday night. It was perfect timing. It was 1 degree as I was driving the airport. It started at 4 and 3.
Just a slow countdown.
2.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then when I landed in LA, it was -1.
Dang.
And I
Oh
was
my
like, I
gosh.
wanted to stay and go like to a mountain for 2 days, but I got too busy, and I love it out there. It was peaceful.
Well, we love you out here. You had 4 sold out shows all weekend. The audience adores you. The feedback was amazing. I think as an actor, it's hard to sometimes do stand up because people assume you're not necessarily going to be a comic. And then you go up there and you rock that shit. And it was so much fun to watch and be a part of.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. I mean, I started as well, I kind of started as both. I always tell people, I was an extra, and then I didn't know how to like break into Hollywood, and you get a headshot. This is in the 90s, and you send it out and you wait. But stand up, I got into it because it's a proactive art form where you could go out that night, sign up, try something, whether it's in front of 2 people or not. And if you get a reaction, you can build off of that. It's like literally inertia. And I think that's how I got into it. So known more for my acting, but I've been doing stand-up for a while, but definitely known much more for my acting.
Absolutely. You are absolutely incredible. And I did want to jump real quick because I'm a big fan of your podcast. So I'm going to fangirl slightly. Hate to break it to you. I love it so much. And I think my favorite part about it is that in this day and age, a lot of comics, I hate to say woke, but I'm going to throw it out there. A lot of comics, they venture away from different topics because they're afraid of potentially polarizing their audience. Yeah. And I love your podcast because you're like, every single thing on this earth deserves a discussion.
Sure.
And you open up the conversation, and it is so enlightening to listen to, and also just to get your take. Was that your initial kind of premise for the podcast? Or were you like, I'm just going to do a podcast and talk about what I want to talk about? And it went in that direction.
I'm honored that you listen. That makes me feel good, and I think
I'm a big fan.
I think because obviously we owe everything to Joe. He started this incredible, new wave, this new art form. And I think that when I started it in 2017. And it was really just a way to do exactly what I did this weekend, like to meet club owners like Eric, you know what I mean? That necessarily are these amazing, robust clubs that may not be as known, you know what I'm saying, in the
Absolutely.
regular touring chain. And yet I could go there for a week. If there was 8 shows that wanted to see me, I would have stayed for 8 shows. And I think the reason to do the pod is to do that, because I would see people that weren't necessarily not names in mainstream press, but just have a robust following. And I would watch them and I would say, oh, okay, that's because they're saying what they want. And so I talked to a lot of people, and then they were like, yeah, it's literally, you're making a friend. That's what podcasting is. And it gets to know the real you. And so I started it just to kind of like do that, to like connect with the audience of stand-up. And then I got to do it, and I started saying, well, I'm going to say all the stuff that I can't say as a joke. There was no pressure to be funny in a podcast.
Absolutely.
Yeah, because it's just a conversation.
Yes, and it's hard sometimes because you have these ideas on stage and you don't have it funny, and people are like, yo, I just paid $30. Where's the joke? Yeah. So it's harder. So I think it's a great way for me, it's now it's a complete like therapeutic expression tool, and just
Sure.
really connecting with like-minded people, and to know that you're not crazy. It's healthy to go out there and I read the comments. I'm not one of those people that I don't think that's real. And I
Yeah.
want to connect with people. I want to see. And then it's a beautiful way to connect. So that's why I did it. And obviously the pandemic kind of really amped it up. And then all the insanity. Let me tell you the insanity, which we're going through, as you know. It's never has it been more split in my lifetime. And my brother's 13 years older than me, and was in the 60s. And he's like, dude, it's insane. And that's a 60s baby. So there's an NSNBC reporter. I don't know if you saw this. And she talks about everything that she had in the hospital. And she did not mention that it could be a vaccine injury. And so that's when I was like, we're in a crazy place, because no one wants to talk. Like, it's either people that believe something or people that don't believe something.
Sure.
There's
And
no
how can you
real
have a
conversation.
conversation?
There's no discussion.
Yeah. Because I love disagreeing with people, because who knows? Or like you get to find out what they actually think, and then you get to think about what you think. It's just like, it's all thought-provoking stuff. You in one of your
nothing should be
episodes,
off the table.
no, you can say whatever you want. Like in one of your episodes, this is kind of, I guess, similar, but I guess podcasting is a way to see who you are kind of more personally, but then people see you on stage, or people see you as an actor. Like you talked about like a blank piece of paper, when like which one is like the real Jamie Kennedy? Is the stand-up closest to it, or is it more like the podcaster? Because like the actor, you're just kind of changing masks all the time, but then comedy, you get to be yourself, but then podcasting is like you get to workshop stuff.
Well, the blank piece of paper really was a teacher I had, and also, not to drop a name, but Dustin Hoffman. I was
Shout
lucky
out.
enough.
Yeah, shout out Dustin. He's a huge fan of this podcast.
Shout out D-Hop.
Dustin said, he said one time, he said an actor should be boring, and then
sure,
he's a character on screen, and then in life he's just so you can play him like an instrument, and so like a piano. And so I think for me, the podcast is not a character. That is definitely me, who I am. And I am much more drawn to it now and stand up because of the bullshit. I'm trying to like say this as I'm waking up. It's like, I know I've had a night
This
person
is
like you guys.
perfect. This is perfect.
And
I love it.
But like,
good.
Honestly, I'm literally driving last night. I live around the corner from Paramount Studios, and I'm just driving, and all my favorite places don't stay open late anymore. The world has changed. I'm not saying it's going to be like this forever, but it's just different. And I'm like, what? Hollywood is not the same. Literally, I live in Hollywood, and I'm like, I look at comedy. I was saying this the other night. Is really comedy is now the rock and roll for me. It used to be musicians were the envelope pushing animals. Kurt Cobain, he was a god. And I think that comic is that now. A good comedy is that. And I feel that, to me, it's the most exciting thing right now, because as much as I like acting, is it important right now? Do people care? Are there, like, it's like people are going to watch something to escape. Our world is so crazy. And so I think for us, the people are just so hungry for the truth or some semblance of it. So I'm much more into this, and podcasting, the little bit of feedback I get for people who like what I do, it fuels me to do it more.
Sure. It's genuine and authentic too.
Absolutely.
Which is what people want.
Unique right now.
Yeah.
Because so many, I'm just going to stick with comics because that's kind of what I know, but so many comics, they kind of have this little like toehold on TikTok where they're like, oh, I'll tell a dad joke a day or something like that. And it's just so innocuous and boring and it's overdone. And then I can put on your podcast or I flip on your YouTube channel, you know, and you're sitting down with Jack Osborne talking about paranormal experiences. And it's like, this is the content that I want. I don't want to hear the same joke told 15 different times. I want to learn about other lived experiences from other people that have experienced more than me.
Yeah.
And that's why I love your content so much. It's all over the map, and it's always so enlightening and informational and entertaining at the end of the day. So it's just so much fun to watch and listen to.
Oh, thank you. I mean, that's what I'm in. I'm into, like, I'll do clips. I get heckled a lot. I'll do pods. I'll have guests. I act and I tour, and I'm in the horror community. That's kind of my life at the moment.
Right. Do you feel like you had mentioned that, you know, of course you did comedy kind of at the same time that you started acting, kind of contemporaneous, but
contemporaneous,
you know,
what a fucking
big
word.
Damn, look at that vernacular. That's insane.
But, you know, I am curious because, again, in one of your TikToks, you had mentioned you get heckled a lot in comments, and you do get heckled a lot on stage. And of course, you were in Heckler in 2007, the biography about being heckled on stage.
Sure, yeah.
Do you feel like the heckling gained momentum after you became an actor, or has that always been something that you've been open to engage with on stage and you just kind of let it flourish on its own?
It's crazy. So there was a great movie called The Aristocrats.
Yes.
And
Not the
you know, one of
Coward.
my mentors in it, God rest his soul, Bob Saget, was in it. And it had, you know, and him and Gilbert, God rest his soul, like they had two of the most seminal moments in this movie, you know. And I knew the producer and I knew what the movie was made for. Long story boring. I was going for my first special. I started filming my specials, my sets, to see what jokes would be better. As I was doing that, I was getting heckled, and I would keep the heckles and compile them. And the director's like, "These are funny," and I was like, "I know, these people are fucking crazy." So then we started getting an idea. So I was putting together a special, putting together heckles. So it was like a dual project came out of it, right? The movie came out. It didn't do as big as I wanted it to do. The Aristocrats was really big, but it made an impact through time. And, you know, it sold to Showtime and stuff. It never went theatrical. So it wasn't that movie that people heckled me from, but now it's really within the community that comics are really, you know, love the movie.
Absolutely.
So, yeah, and that's kind of who I made it for. It was like a love letter. So, a long story. How can I say this? I think heckling is worse than it's ever been, and it's never going to go away. And that is because of entitlement, social media, you know, the Zoomers, and White Claw. Like,
yeah.
And people just think that they are. Oh, you're literally having one. Okay, they literally, you're a Karen.
Yeah.
So if people put a TikTok out and it has 5,000 views and they're going $30 to see me, and my last video only has 2,000 views, they're like, "Fuck this guy," right? And I can understand their mentality because they don't understand my lineage. You know,
Sure.
My lineage is more important to me than their lineage, but in their lineage, they have more views, right? So there's this huge thing of, hey, I'm fucking, not only do I matter, but I can beat you or whatever. It's so that's where we're at. And now everybody has a voice. Everybody has a voice. And a lot of these voices, in my opinion, are misinformed. I mean, they're crazy. Like, but it's like Mr. Beast. I don't know if you see this controversy. He just cured 1,000 people of blindness.
I did.
A
Like that.
1,000?
But people are mad. People are mad because he said it's exploitive. What? Like, he just cured 1,000 people of blindness.
Yeah, it's like, who cares if what it doesn't matter. There are 1,000 people.
Yeah, I feel like they would talk shit about him if he didn't post about it.
Yeah,
like they'd be like,
exactly.
"Why? What are you doing? It? What are you hiding?" And he's like, "I don't know."
So
just did it.
there's your answer. We're never gonna. It's just people are just gonna. They're just always gonna take umbrage with something.
Man.
So
umbrage. Look at that. Another good word.
Yeah, she's
We're
inspired.
play Scrabble later.
and it's just crazy. That's the world we live in. And so it's never going to stop. And I get heckled all the time now because I think when I talk to people, they really believe I'm talking to them when I'm just speaking, but I'm comfortable enough. And I guess they think I'm speaking to them, which is good for the connection. But
you're too good of a conversationalist.
I
think maybe, I guess. Thank you.
You united the room a couple times. You had hecklers, of course, throughout the weekend. But you united the room at one point because you said something it was a rhetorical question. Obviously, in comedy, we master those. And two different women shouted out from two different sides of the room, and you're like, "Hi, Becky. Hi, Karen." And you just sounded so subtle and so smooth, and the audience lost it. But it was so beautiful because those girls probably felt like they were like, "Jamie Kennedy loves me."
Although I was heard.
He was making fun of you, but let's move on.
And that happens a lot. And also the crowd work now. I think I do tell comics, I know comics that last year were selling okay, and now they're blowing up because of their crowd work clips. I don't even really do crowd work. I just put exchanges when I get heckled. And I think that is creating a new audience member because every comic is talking about how they keep getting interrupted, and people are like, I helped.
Right. Yeah, I helped your little skit.
It's going well. I'll help out. It's stupid.
So, Jamie, I know we have you for a limited amount of time, and I appreciate you speaking with us so much. Awesome. Okay. So I took a poll through 7 local comics that I'm very close with, and I asked if you could sit down with Jamie Kennedy, what would you ask? And they all wanted to know if you were going to foray into dramatic acting again, because they are big, big fans of your Criminal Minds character, Lucky.
Criminal Minds.
Is anything on the table? Is it coming up?
I'd love to. I actually just got a script a couple weeks ago with a very good actor attached to it. And I have to see if it's going to get made. It would be like a $2 million independent movie, but I would like to. I mean, it's like right now, the only things being made really in Hollywood are like superhero movies or like low budget independents that try to find an audience. So I would like to. I'm looking at stuff. My character in Criminal Minds, I think, is dead. I'm not sure. It's so funny because I saw the guy who was the security guard that took me to jail in that episode 2 nights ago at the Improv. I'm like, dude, remember when you locked me up? Yes. So who knows? But definitely, I would like that. Tell them thank you.
You're America's sweetheart and America's favorite serial killer. So just add it to the list of your accomplishments.
Top 5.
Top of the bio.
Well, thank you so much for speaking with us again. This has been absolutely incredible. What shows do you have coming up next? Anything you want to plug, share
plug it.
Let's see. I got I'm in Indiana. You can go to my website, jamiekennedy.com, but I'm in South Bend for 2 shows, and then I'm in Virginia. So I think they're almost sold out, but you go to my website, and then I'm going to be, I don't know. I've got tons of stuff. I've got a HorrorCon coming up, but just go to jamiekennedy.com and you can see it. And if I'm in your city, come say hi. Maybe, we'll take a selfie and maybe I'll do your podcast.
Absolutely.
Yeah, there you go. Dreams come true, guys.
Well, thank you guys again. Check out jamiekennedy.com and please check out his podcast as well. Hate to break it to you. It's absolutely amazing. You can get on any streaming platform. This has been the Loonees Comedy Corner podcast. Thank you again to Jamie Kennedy.
Thanks, Jamie Kennedy. Appreciate you.
And we will speak with you guys next week.
Toodles, kids.